BYFL Gameday. I'm your host, Braeden Sully, and I'm joined alongside my friend Nathan Macleer. Today in the show, we'll be breaking down the spring games, predicting the Week 1 matchups, and predicting the players that we think will be standouts this season.
Last season brought us both drama and excitement. We saw the first undefeated team, first Heisman Trophy winner in all of history, the first team to complete a season without winning a single game, and don't forget, the first player to ever retire from the BYFL. And that person is actually sitting right next to me. So let's talk to you, Braeden. What made you leave the BYFL?
So actually, I decided not to retire. I'm planning to come back in 2017 season. But I didn't feel fit for the 2016 season. It's a big fall coming for me lacrosse-wise, trying to get those D1 offers, trying to be a D1 ATH. Gotta commit to Furman. But that's basically why. I'll be back in 2017. I'll be leading a team to victory. Hopefully I'll win a game this year, not 0-6. That collusion, you heard it straight from my mouth. But now that you know, what will be going on the show, let's take a quick commercial break before we get started.
Whose personalized lawn care plan? I've been up on my hind legs trying to get a better view of his grass. It's so beautiful. Oh, cramp! My tiny unicorn legs can't take it.
Hello, and welcome back to BYFL Gameday. The spring games were very successful. They allowed teams to build chemistry with the preseason game. Let's break down Spring Game 1. Nathan?
Spring Game 1 was a great contest that consisted of the Panthers and the Hornets, the so-called dark horses of the league. The Panthers and the Hornets battled to the very end, with the Panthers having an edge and winning 24-22.
That was a very great game. I think what led the Panthers to a victory over the Hornets was Macleer's willingness to run the football. Nick, he had Jack Mona on him. Jack's around 5'6", I'd say. He had Jack on him, so that just gave him the heads up to go ahead to run.
Also, Braeden, don't forget about the mismatch between Jack, 5'6", and Sam Elwell, about 5'11", on the defensive side for the Panthers. Sam Reynolds had no options to go with the ball because Mullen was unable to get open.
Yeah, that made it very hard and frustrating for the Hornets to develop some type of offense. So now that we've broken down our first spring game, how about we go on to the second game? Spring Game 2, that matchup was between the Ducks but they've changed the name to the Aggies now, and that's a mistake. And it was between the Longhorns. The Longhorns will be playing tonight. It was a very interesting game given the fact that the game was decided basically by an offsides call. In the final score, it was 25-24 in the Longhorns. They won that game because, Longhorns always beat Aggies. Nathan, what do you think made the difference in this game?
I think the difference in this one was the quarterback's trust and the confidence in their receivers. The Longhorns QB, Matthew Kessel, was very confident in throwing the ball when it needed to be thrown. Once Kessel saw the open man, the ball was out of his hand in a split second. He didn't make any second guess when to throw the ball.
I agree. Kessel was taking some really, really challenging risks when they needed him, and he delivered. Unlike Aggies quarterback Marshall Levinson, he did not take any risks and wasn't confident in his arms or legs. And when you're not confident, of course, you're not going to play as well. If you don't have that confidence in yourself, your team's not going to be confident in you, and then, you're not going to take the dub. And he did that a lot of times in the spring game, and he needs to get that confidence up if the Aggies are going to take it. Make a run at the title.
Yeah, I agree. If the Aggies want the championship, they will need to change their quarterback's bad habits.
Now that we have two spring games down, one more to go. We will break down the last one after this commercial break. Hello, and welcome back again to BYFL Gameday. If you're just joining us, we've broken down 2 or 3 spring games. Now it's time to break down the third and final game. Spring Game 3 was not much of a problem by the defending champions, the Dolphins. They're tying the record for the largest margin of victory over the Mustangs, 36-21. Nathan, what do you think went wrong in this game?
Well, for the Mustangs, it was just an absolute nightmare. For starters, Arash Zakib threw 5 interceptions. And it's not like the Dolphins weren't playing like they normally do. forced turnovers and capitalized on them by scoring. Dolphins took care of the football really well, and they only threw one interception and only had one missed field goal.
Yeah, they took really good care of the ball. They took over extremely well, actually. Who played good in that was the receivers, Cooper Kelly and Chase Aiken.
Yeah.
They got open when they needed to, and that was basically the entire game. I went back and watched that game, and there were only 4 plays the entire game. Cooper or Chase weren't open. That's heaven for a quarterback, of course. If you're going to be a defending champion, you got to be able to get open and win games like that.
It's exactly why the Dolphins are coming into the season as the defending champions. Because they're able to do things like get open in basically every single play. It's not to mention that their defense forced 5 interceptions and 2 punts.
And that wraps up the breakdown of the spring games. After this commercial break, we'll look into the star of the show, who will be competing for the Heisman Trophy this season. We will answer that when we get back. Hello, and welcome back from another commercial break. As you know, last year's Heisman winner is Mr. Josh Kula. Nathan, how do you feel the Heisman winner would do with his new team, the Hornets?
Well, honestly, I don't think he has the best team, but I think that they can improve if they have Jack Miller at quarterback, where Heisman winner Josh Kula can go at receiver with Sam Reynolds. And I think that they can do a lot of trick plays since they're all threats as a quarterback. Braeden, what do you think about quarterback of the defending champs, Will Long, making a possible run at the Heisman Trophy?
To be honest, I don't think that Will's going to be this year's Heisman winner. There's a lot of parity up there. I feel like his teammate Cooper Kelly, he can make a run for it. Chase Aiken maybe. Maybe. You never know. Maybe Jake Knight. Maybe he'll be his entire team and he'll win the Heisman. You never know. There's so much parity in this league, you know?
Yeah, it's just so unpredictable. Yeah, just like Chase Aiken.
Yeah.
Unpredictable player.
Is that your dark horse?
Yeah, probably.
All right. That's basically all I have to say. I think Garrett Field of Longhorns, he could do some work this year. He's very athletic. He's a pride of Staley Middle School. So now that we've analyzed the players, let's get into some predictions after this commercial. Hello, and welcome back to BYFL Gameday. We're going to be doing our predictions now, and joining us is Dolphins player in 2015 Special Teams Player of the Year, Mr. Chase Aiken. Come on, Chase.
Gotta be on the show.
Good to see you.
All right, Chase. So in our first game, we have the Dolphins and the Panthers. And Nathan, who do you think will get in that game?
Well, I think this game can go 2 different ways. Either way, the Dolphins are gonna come out really tough.
Oh yeah.
Probably they're gonna either destroy them, or it's gonna be a very close game, and the Panthers might even come up with it because they have good chemistry. It just depends how they come out, but I think the smart choice is to go with the Dolphins.
I have to agree with that. I mean, the Dolphins, they're last year's champion. I don't think there's any team that can beat them. Teams can keep up with them, but at the end of the day, I think they're just the best team in the league. What do you think, Chase? That's your team.
I mean, honestly, they got a fast team. They got Andrew. I mean, he's not faster than me because I'm statistically the fastest player.
Fastest 28.
Yep.
In the combine.
But they got Elwell, he's fast and lengthy, and they got Nick, who's just not the pride of Staley, of course, but kind of like the vice president.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think Will can make the passes quick, and I have the best move in the league. So as long as I keep making my moves and Cooper keeps making his, I feel like we can come on top.
That's very true.
All right. Yeah. For our second game, we have an expansion team this year, the Hornets, against the Aggies, formerly known as the Ducks. And for this game, honestly, it's gonna be a close game of bad teams.
Yep.
Definitely agree.
The Hornets, they're new. I'm not so sure about their chemistry and so on. They have last year's Heisman winner, but you don't know how he's gonna fare with his new team. And then they have the Aggies, and you know how it is with any former Aggie team. They're gonna be mediocre in football, obviously.
Yeah.
So this year I'm predicting them to go. How many games are there? 8.
6.
6 games. I'm predicting them to go 4-2. Always gonna be mediocre as typical A&M.
Yep.
What do you think, Nathan?
Well, I personally think that, of course, the Aggies, pretty good team. I guess they're mediocre, but I mean, the Hornets, I don't think they're going to come out very good at all. I think they're just going to get destroyed in this game. But it might end up being close.
I have something to add. I realized that I did not choose a team, and I won't be choosing a team for this matchup because they can honestly go either way. They're both stacked with their somewhat skill level. I think they have the same skill level, so it can go either way. So you guys can tell me. Chase, what do you think?
Oh, wow. Well, the Aggies got Jake Knight.
Yeah, but
Jake Knight's
Gator Athlete of the Year.
That is true.
that's true.
But with Marshall being out because of off-field reasons,
Yeah.
maybe he wants his money, maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
With him being out, their fill-in could not be as good. So I don't know how it's going to work out for them. So for the Aggies-Hornets game, I think it'll be a close matchup. But for me, I got to go with the underdog. I'm going with the Hornets.
All right. So for our last game, we have the Mustangs and the Longhorns. The Longhorns, they finished second in the power ranking until the end of this game. What were the Mustangs at?
Mustangs
Five.
were 5. Actually, yeah, 5.
5. So yeah, 2 versus 5. So I honestly think that the Longhorns, they're gonna get this dub. They're always gonna be the second best team in the league. They're gonna give the Dolphins a run for their money, and we'll see what happens. What do you think, Chase?
Well, for me, I mean, you got the Longhorns and the Mustangs, and I mean, the Longhorns played bad against us, but who doesn't? So,
It's the intimidation factor.
yeah, I mean, I feel like the Longhorns are better overall, but I gotta go with the upset. So, and I gotta do it for my friend Devin Butler. So, pony up.
Funny tempo.
Well, to be honest, the Mustangs, their original squad, aren't very that good, but I mean, the Longhorns, they're definitely gonna probably do really good. They have a great team, better squad. That's why I'm going with the Mustangs. Woo!
So that concludes the first week of BYFL Game Day. Join us next week for week 2 of BYFL Game Day.